All right, greetings, YouTube. This question just came in. This is from I think it's College Algebra. From our text, it comes from section 1.2, question number 19. It says, in the morning, Maria drove to a business appointment at 100 miles per hour. Her average speed on a return trip in the afternoon was 90 miles per hour. The return trip took 1/3 hour longer because of heavy traffic. How far did she travel to the appointment? Okay, so something like this. Let's start by drawing a picture. So here's Maria, the road. Let's see, it's kind of crooked. Let's go like this. So here's the road that Maria is going to travel, right? I think of Maria. I don't know. I'm just going to choose a color. So here's Maria. We'll just say M for Maria. And she's going to some appointment. We're going to make it green. This is her appointment, her destination, right? So in the morning, Maria drove to a business appointment at 100 miles per hour. So let's say her rate, and let's go like this. Like that, right? So her rate going was 100 miles per hour, right? Her average speed on a return trip in the afternoon was 90 miles per hour. So I'll say rate return. This was 90 miles per hour. Okay. The trip took 1/3 hour longer. Let's see. How far did she travel to the appointment? I got to think about how I want to do this one. So, say her trip going, we don't know what that is, right? So the question is asking, it says, how far did she travel to the appointment? So the distance is our unknown. This is our x, right? I haven't decided something for. We'll let time just with the time going. We'll just let it be t. But we know that the time returning was going to be the time going 1/3 hour longer. So whatever that time is, plus 1/3 of an hour. So these units are in hours, right? How far does she travel? Right. Okay. So this is a classic distance equals rate times time. So we have the going trip, her trip going versus her return trip. All right. So we're going to say, let's kind of do like this. We'll go style. Like this. So then we have what? Rate times time equals distance. Okay. So even though they want us to solve for her distance, well, I mean, we can do that. That's fine. We can keep going with what we have. Now, let's try to fill in what we have, right? We're kind of making a table. What was her rate going? What information did we have about her rate going? Her rate going was, what, 100 miles per hour. So the units are already fine. So the rate going was 100. Keep in mind those units are miles per hour. Miles per hour. The time needs to be in hours, and the distance is in miles. These are the units. Let's see. So her time going, we probably should make that one our unknown, but we're just going to call that T for right now, right? So her rate coming back was 90 miles per hour. The time was whatever her time was before plus 1/3 of an hour. Okay. So distance equals rate times time. It's going to be basically 100 t there. And then this is going to be 90 times t plus 1/3, right? So this is the chart. And those are equal, essentially this, right? I could make those straight lines, but we're just kind of doing this for time's sake. Okay. So what can we say about the distance going versus the distance coming back? It should be the same. So we're going to equate these two. We can solve for t. Then once we solve for t, we can find the distance, right? So what should be the case is that this distance should be equal to this distance. All right? So let's solve for t and see what happens. On the left, there's nothing to simplify, but on the right, we can distribute. Okay. So on the left, we still have our 100t. On the right, now we have 90t. And 1/3 of 90, 90 divided by 3 is what? 30, right? So let's isolate the variable. I'm going to move the variable to the left by subtracting the 90t on both sides. So then 100 minus 90 is 10 equals 30. So divide by 10. So the time it looks like was 3 hours. And that's the time going. So if it took her 3 hours going, a third of an hour is like 20 minutes. So it's like an hour and 20 minutes coming back. But we just want the distance, right? So the distance is going to be 100 times t. So that's going to be 100 times what? 3. So that should be 300 miles. And we can check that in the second part as well. It should be the case that 90 times t plus 1/3. It should be the same number. That's going to be 90. T was what? 3. So 3 plus 1/3. That's 10 by 3, right? 10 by 3. 90 divided by 3 is 30. 30 times 10 is 300. So in either case, we got 300. So then it says, the question asks, how far did she travel to the appointment? It looks like she traveled 300 miles. Okay, that's about the best we can do. We verified that we got the same result in both in going and returning. We got reasonable answers. 3 hours is reasonable. You know, these answers are reasonable. Okay. So on that note, we will end this session here. And from one beautiful mind to another, enjoy the rest of your day.